Hi everyone out there. I am Spanangwabo, your sports guru. Catch me live every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Only on Nirvana Wild FM. Your beat, your music. Danko.
The views, opinions, or comments expressed on this program does not reflect the views, opinions, or comments of the radio station or its management.
You are tuning into Sports Geek with Sponelo Ngobo, only on Nirvana Wild FM. Your beat, your music. Halala.
Men, what does playing in this shirt mean? Each and every one of us are where a million kids dream to be. We get to pull on this shirt and wear the badge on our hearts. We get to sing our anthem and play for 60 million fans, like the heroes who came before us. But what does a Protea have to do with all of that? It has everything to do with it. No matter how hot the fire burns, the Protea will always survive. It's got the will to grow back stronger, to do what needs to be done. We are Proteas. We are South Africa.
We find a way, boys. We do what it takes.
This team never ever gives up.
We're the guys that bat with a broken hand. To take 5 wickets on the flattest deck in the world. Who does that? Proteas do that, boys. We're the guys that bat for 8 hours in the hottest weather to save a test match. For me, boys, that's the Proteas. We bleed, we hurt, and we fight together right to the end. That's what makes us what we are, boys.
We know who we are, and we know who we play for. We are South Africa. To the team!
Who takes 5 wickets on the flat deck? The Protea does that. Oh boy, it is the 14th of June 2025. What does that mean? That simply means one thing and one thing only, that the World Test Championship final between South Africa and the defending champions Australia is currently underway out in England, Lord's Cricket Ground, of the home of cricket. That's where all the cricket eyes are focusing right now. Oh boy, it is going down. Yes, South Africa, they were the underdogs coming to this game, which got underway on Wednesday, the 11th of June 2024. Today, it is day 4, and I believe that day 4 is about to get underway in the next 20 minutes or so. That is 11:30 South African time. And by the look of things, oh boy, believe it or not, it looks like this time around, South Africa, they might just bring some silverware back to the country. Listen to this. On day 4, South Africa, they need 69 runs with 8 wickets in hand. And this is a day 4. What does that mean? That simply means that we're still sitting with how many? 200 of us at our disposal. Oh boy, okay. Will we choke this time around? Personally, I do not think so. Talking of choking and everything, we do have our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Bengo, all the way from Kroonstad in the Free State. Oh boy, he will be telling us exactly what's happening in as far as this game is concerned. What can we expect going forward, especially today, with only 69 runs away from making history in as far as South African cricket is concerned. Alvin Bengu, are you there, Baba?
Hi, good morning to you. Good morning to all the listeners, to everybody watching. Good morning, and
oh yes,
to be part of the show.
Oh, great. We are very, very honored to have you with us on the line this morning. Oh, yes, we've been trying to get hold of you, and you've been playing hard to get with us. Finally, we got you. Baringas suit, no root of guy. Yeah, not to feel like I wrote towards. We have you. Fine. It's better than having you physical in the studio, but at least we have you on the phone.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
First, just before we get to the technical stuff, just tell us who is Alvin Pengo, born and bred, where are you currently based, Alvin?
So everybody that doesn't know me, my name is Alvin, as has been introduced. I was born in KwaZulu-Natal, Eshowe.
Okay.
When I was about 5, 6, yeah.
Okay, now I'm listening. Proceed.
Yeah, all right. We moved from there. I was about 5 years old when we moved to Gauteng. We're staying in a place called Olifantsfontein.
Okay.
I was living there my whole life from that time. And then when I finished my studies, because I was when I finished university, moved to Kronstadt for work. I'm a social worker by trade. Been a social worker for about 11 in my 11th year now.
Oh yes,
as a social worker. But studied at the University of the Free State. And when I finished my degree, I moved to Kronstadt for work. And yeah, I've been staying in Kronstadt since around 2014 until now.
Okay, talking of Kronstadt, that reminds me that the former Bafana player, the former Bafana a captain and the coach, and currently Mamelodi Sundowns assistant coach Steve Khompela hails from that part of the world. That is in the Free State, go Kronstadt. I don't know whether you knew that.
Yeah, we're aware. I remember his older brother, his late older brother, Putana Khompela, used to be the MEC of social development here in the Free State.
Yes.
I was aware that his family is here and was here in the Free State as well. Yeah.
Also, surely you are staying in a very, very rich place in terms of sporting history. Yes, that is Alvin Pengo talking to us all the way from a Free State, Kronstadt to be exact. That's where the former Bafana player, captain and coach, and currently Mamelodi Sundowns assistant coach Steve Khompela hails from. But we are not talking football this time around. We'll be talking cricket to be exact. That's currently taking place out in England, Lord's Cricket Ground. That is the home of cricket, or that's where all the cricket eyes are currently focusing or zooming on in as far as that World Test Championship final between South Africa and the defending champions in the form and shape of Australia. First, Elvin, talk to us about the squad, the 15-man squad that Proteas coach Shukri Conrad selected to represent South Africa in this once-off test match. Talk to us, were there any surprise inclusions or omissions in that 15-man squad?
Look, I think you look at that 15-man squad that Coach Shukri Conrad took up. I don't think there was too many surprises around who the guys were that were selected going into that final, right? The 15-man squad that was selected. For me, there were two actual surprises, but for contrasting reasons. The first one that was a surprise for me was Keshav Maharaj, and I'll explain why. Yes. And then the second surprise inclusion for me was Lungi Ngidi, right? Yes. Keshav Maharaj's inclusion was surprising to me, not because of his quality. I believe Keshav is one of the best spinners in the world, and I'm a huge fan of Keshav Maharaj. You know, my reason for feeling that he was a surprise inclusion was he sustained an injury during the round of first class games while he was playing for the Dolphins, his domestic team.
Yes.
The Dolphins in KZN. He sustained an injury, which was actually reported to be an aggravation of the injury he had suffered against the West Indies prior to the World Cup in 2023. He suffered an injury right prior to the World Cup and made a very quick recovery, which was not expected. So apparently because of the hard work he had done, because when most players go on off seasons, Keshav Maharaj continues to play.
Yes.
For his domestic teams. So he actually aggravated that particular injury. So I suspected that he wouldn't play due to that injury, but he made a recovery again from that injury. And so once he had recovered, I knew he was definitely going to be part of the team. But that was the one reason I didn't know he was going to be part of the team. The second person for me who was a surprise inclusion, Lungi Ngidi. Yes. With him, the surprise for me, his numbers, you look at his record, and a lot of people would have been, why isn't Ngidi in the team? He's a bad player or whatever. Yes. Ngidi's record speaks for itself as a player who does perform well in test. His record stands for itself. However, My surprise to his inclusion was his participation in Test cricket over the last year or so. He hasn't really played. In fact, in the World Test Championship rounds, I think he only played 2 Test matches against West Indies, if I'm not mistaken. And that speaks to somebody who hasn't really been part of the team. It's almost like the analogy of the guy who doesn't practice and then plays the match. You know, you're not there during practice and then you want to come play the match on the weekend. As kids, we used to hate it when that happens. Like, you've got a star player who doesn't show up during practice, and then now you match again.
Chiki, you are available.
So it really gets frustrating when that happens. And it's a similar thing with Ungidi. It's like you have these guys who have come in and have participated throughout the World Test Championship, and now Ungidi just comes in and he's been elected for the 15. So I think those were the 2 surprise inclusions for me. But like I said, for contrasting reasons. Then you look at some omissions, and I feel like for me, a lot of it, I keep my ears open, particularly when it comes to cricket on social media, what they say on Facebook, and a lot of people talking about 3 particular omissions. And I feel if you do not know cricket, you're going to say these 3 are omissions, which would be Luandre Pretorius, Ewald Brevis, and Wenama Parker.
Yes.
People who mention those 3 young players are people I don't think who have an understanding of cricket. You cannot take 3 young guys like that and throw them into a final
against Australia Nogal. Against Australia Nogal, not just any other team.
Against Australia. Any other team. You can throw those boys in. It's a final against Bangladesh. Throw the boys in. It's fine.
Yes.
But we're talking Australia here. These guys are
the defending champions.
These guys are gonna sledge you from the moment. These guys sledge you while you're sitting in a restaurant. That's how hectic Australians are. So now you ask yourself, will these boys be able to handle that kind of pressure? So for me, they were not a surprise omission. The one surprise omission for me, and I know others talk about Nandre Berger. For me, the surprise omission was Gerard Coetzee more than Nandre Berger.
Yes.
And the reason for me saying that is Nandre Berger, for me, is more like he's an extra bowler, and so extra, far extra. Because you look at the South African setup in terms of our fast bowlers, we've got Rabada and Janssen front line, no questions asked.
Yes.
The third seamer position could go to either Gerard Coetzee or Lungi Ngidi, with Dane Patterson also as an option. So I've got already 3 people for that third seamer position, right? There's Andre Nokia, who is also sitting on the side.
Oh yes.
Only you think about Andre Berger. You see. So that's why for me his exclusion wasn't really a surprise, but certainly Gerard was for me a definite surprise, the fact that he wasn't included, particularly because he had regained fitness.
Now, moving away from the 15-man squad to the starting 11. Talk to us about that starting 11. I believe one of the talking points was the promotion of Van Mulder to a bet at number 3. Talk to us about the starting 11. What's your take on it?
Sure. I'll be honest. I've been critical of Coach Shukri's starting 11s for a long, since he came in.
Yes.
I've always been criticizing his starting 11s. I mean, his very first game as coach, he played. He omitted Keshav Maharaj from the team and played Sunil Mutuseni at number 7 and played 4 seamers against West Indies. Yes. And I was like, who leaves out Maharaj? That's just weird, And from there on, he kept making these interesting decisions with his team selections. I mean, the second game after that was in Joburg, and he played 2 spinners. How do you go from playing 0 frontline spinner to playing 2 the very next game in the Highveld? It was so bizarre, But all in all, I've learned to trust Coach Shukri Conrad's selections because I do believe he thinks them out very, very carefully, Rian Mulder batting at number 3 would have never been my choice, really. I would have never gone with Rian Mulder at number 3. I would have gone with actually Tristan Stubbs to bat at number 3 because looking at his record batting at number 3, Tristan Stubbs averages 44 when batting at number 3. So I would have really gone with Tristan Stubbs rather in the number 3 position. But I do see in the madness with Rian Mulder at number 3, because what that means is it makes our batting longer, meaning Kyle Verreynne now comes in at number 7. Now you've got a longer batting lineup, which is something Jacques Callis afforded us when he was in the team, is that you get a longer batting lineup, Yeah, and it's the same with Australia. But Australia went a bit overboard with their starting 11 because now they included 4-rounder.
Typical Australians.
Cameron Green at number 3, Boo Webster at number 6. It was a ridiculous move by Australia. Totally ridiculous. I think Australia vastly underestimated us. Cam Green is not a number 3 batsman, and he showed it. The stroke, particularly in the second innings, the way he got out, a typical number 3 would have left that ball that Rabada got him out with. A typical number 3 who knows, because when you bat in the middle order, you like to feel for the ball. But when you bat in the top order, you leave a lot. And he doesn't know that because he's not actually a number 3.
Number 3.
And he failed, and we saw it. It's not, Cam didn't fail because he lacks talent. He failed because he's not a number 3. And Australia risked doing that because they underestimated South Africa, you know. So Australia went a bit overboard with it. South Africa, it meant our batting lineup is longer. You've got David Bellingham now coming in at numbers.
Oh, yes.
Right? And he can be very good at counter-attacking cricket. Very good counter-attacker. So there is method in the madness with Coach Shukri putting Vian Mulder at number 3. I do give him a bit of credit for that because we hadn't seen that when we were viewing it. It's like, why would you put Vian Mulder at number 3? And what Mulder is capable of doing, what people don't see is, although he doesn't score the run, he does spend time at the crease.
Which is
and the time he spends at the crease is time delaying the next batsman from coming in.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
And when you do that, a lot of people like to talk about strike rates and saying that person has a low strike rate. Low strike rates with high ball intake means you are delaying the next batsman from coming in. And that is always good for Test cricket, you know.
Absolutely.
So I think at the end of the day, there was method in the madness with Coach Shukri. I do give him credit for that. Yeah.
You give Shukri Conrad credit for that, the coach that we've been doubting for a long time. Finally, he got to redeem himself, and I'm happy to hear that you give him credit for that. I couldn't help noticing that you touched on a very, very good point about Australia being good when it comes to sledging. Surely, with Kagiso Rabada's recreational substance abuse in the background. So surely Kagiso Rabada would have known better and be ready that as Australians they were going to give it to him when it comes to sledging in as far as that recreational substance scandal is concerned. And my question to you, how ready was Kagiso Rabada for sledging, for taking sledging from the Aussies and the team itself protecting Kagiso Rabada with that regard? Elvin?
I think heading into the game, there were many comments from KG himself, as well as from Aiden Markram also said something about it, and I think Temba also touched on it. Coach Shukri Conrad touched on it, that South Africa were preparing for it. Knowing Australia, knowing their sledging tendency. I mean, I remember the time Australia, we know what Australia is like.
Oh, yes.
I think there was a lot of preparation into it. The last time, I remember the time Australia was here during the sandpaper incident, the infamous
sandpaper gate.
Series, right? Yes.
The sandpaper gate. Yes.
In that series, I remember I was watching a documentary about it, and Sean Pollock and the others were talking, and they were talking about how ridiculous the sledging from Australia was. Mike Isman in particular was saying it got so bad that some of the commentators actually switched off the stump mic connection to them. They switched it off because of how bad the sledging was at that time. They went on about Aiden Markram's shirts. They said his shirt was unironed. Apparently, he hadn't ironed the shirt. They went on about it apparently for like 30 minutes or whatever, you know. And they went on him after, and during that match, if you remember the second innings in Durban, he ran out. AB de Villiers got run out in the second innings in Durban for a duck, and they went on him for running out AB de Villiers. They didn't stop throughout the entire innings, and Aiden Markram made 145, I think, in that innings. He was brilliant. But the point about it is, so you know, with Australia, the sledging will never stop. So KG, I believe, was ready to hear those comments of, if he was going through a bad run, it would have been, oh, you didn't smoke coke today, so that's why you're struggling. Or if he had been doing well, oh, so you were smoking coke again, that's why you're dealing with us like that. So it became that, it would have been that. And I'm pretty sure the South African change room thoroughly prepared KG. KG himself thoroughly prepared. And you saw the calmness he had. You saw the calmness that Rabada had during his performance, that he was somebody that was ready for it.
Talking of Kagiso Rabada's calmness and ready for the sledging from the Becky Greens, Australia, what a better way to respond to the sledges. 5-holer. Oh boy, what a performance that was. 5 wickets. Elvin, talk to us about that. Alvin, hello? Are you there?
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no,
I hear you.
my question, I was talking about Kagiso Rabada's readiness for sledging from the Aussies. What a better way for Kagiso Rabada to bounce back, to handle the sledging from the Aussies by taking those that 5-wicket haul. What a comeback that was.
Absolutely. I think that is the best way actually you answer your critics. The best way you answer your sledgers, the best way you answer your critics, you do it with the bat. I remember Brian Lara, people were criticizing his captaincy, criticizing him back in the day. He responded by scoring a magnificent 150, one of the greatest performances in Test cricket history. I could line it up with the Graham Smith performance in Edgbaston against England. That was just a work of art. But with him, what made it so special was the fact that Australia was boasting their best bowling. They had McGrath, they had Shane Warne, they had Andy Bickle, they had Bradley, I think was playing, or was it Jason Gillespie? I'm not sure. But he really answered the critics and played an emphatic performance. And that is how you answer your critics. That's how you answer people who you answer on the pitch. And that's what Kagiso Rabada did. He came out there, he led the bowling attack from the front. And a lot of people will say Rabada didn't get any 5-wicket hauls during the 4 matches against Sri Lanka and against Pakistan. But if you actually watch carefully, every time at the start of every match, every innings, whether it was Pakistan, Sri Lanka, he was always the first to get a breakthrough, always. And even in this game, we see it again. First 2 wickets in both innings, Rabada was up there, showing them that he is the main man at the end of the day. A lot of talks between Cummins versus Rabada would have been put out. James Anderson came out to say he would prefer KG Rabada over James Anderson, and the sledging came from the Australian fans to say, well, Cummins doesn't smoke drugs and whatever. But KG answered, and he answered emphatically. 9 wickets for 110 runs is absolutely sensational. One would say he deserved a 10-fer for the match, but it wasn't to be good enough though to take the team to the top.
Oh yes, that was a great performance indeed by Kagiso Rabada, silencing his critics rather, especially the Aussies and their sledging style. We know very well that nobody does sledging better than Australia. They tops when it comes to sledging. Still with this game, let's just quickly go back at the beginning of this game. Talk to us about the importance of winning the toss, of which South Africa went on to win the toss and opted to bowl first. Talk to us about that decision, Alvin.
The truth of the matter is every team wants to win the toss because it helps you implement your strategies. Whatever your strategy is, the toss plays an important role in it because then you get to do whatever you wanted to do when you were planning, right? So for South Africa, winning the toss would have been critical because then you get an opportunity to do, which was to bowl first, you know.
Yes.
However, I think in the public and also with the Australians, the toss didn't mean anything. They were so far ahead of us and so arrogant that it was, we don't care what the toss is, we'll still beat them. You know, it didn't matter to the Australians. But now only the fans are like, South Africa got lucky by winning toss. Now they have the best of the conditions. We didn't know the conditions were going to change.
Exactly.
Who would have guessed conditions were going to change? So now all of them, there's all these excuses to say, why did Australia lose? This morning I saw a post where somebody was talking about the review where Themba Bavuma survived the LBW appeal, saying there was clear daylight between bats and balls. Ridiculous. Now Australians are suddenly going to that level of pettiness because they are losing. You know, like, no, South Africa is cheating. But that's ridiculous. You as Australia were so confident of winning this match.
Yes.
The way the confidence was, this wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't matter. Actually, it didn't matter that Themba Bavuma survived that appeal because Australia still had a 74-run lead going into the second innings. So they didn't really say anything about it until now. Now that they're 69 runs away from victory, suddenly there's a problem with that decision. The toss fell to South Africa's side, which I'm pretty sure if Australia had won the toss, they would have chosen to bat first anyway, because that's Australian culture.
Oh, yes.
I remember Tom Moody, I think it was Tom Moody that said it. Australian culture, he said this, or was it Mark Taylor, between Mark Taylor and Tom Moody, who said, Australia's culture is, you win the toss, you bat first. Exactly. If you are in doubt, you win the toss, think about it, and still bat first. That's Australian mentality. That's Australian mentality. So I'm pretty certain they would have probably batted first anyway. So I do not see that complaint about the toss. It was an important toss for South Africa now that the pitch has dried up. The pitch has, and that's something that most people didn't consider. In England, may I just share this? This is a very interesting stat. In England, at this time of the year, the sun sets a lot later in the day, right? Yes. So after the rain delay, when it's overcast at Lords, we know the ball tends to swing more at Lords whenever it's overcast. And so now what happens is, because the sun sets later, it sets around 9:30 in Lords, the sun. So in other words, when it's 9 o'clock in London during this time of the year, the sun is out.
Oh boy.
Which means it bakes the pitch for a lot longer, drying out the pitch. And then it rises at 4 in the morning.
Oh no.
So that gives so much time for the pitch to be baked, to dry up, to flatten out. And that is why we find what's happening today. And Australia should have definitely been worried when they saw number 11 batting out a session yesterday morning.
Oh,
you should have been worried.
Was I stressed up?
Because it shows how flat the conditions have become.
Talking of the pitch becoming a flat at about number 11, betting for such a long time in as far as the Australian betting lineup is concerned, and then in South Africa they came in for their second innings. The situation right now, I believe it favors South Africa drastically. We're talking how many? About 213 runs, having lost only 2 wickets. Talk to us about South Africa's second innings, Elvin.
I think the approach from the South Africans changed. This is why I say Coach Shukri Conrad is arguably one of the smartest coaches we've ever employed in South Africa. And my reason for saying this is, when the conditions were really tough, South Africans were criticized at the end of day one for especially Themba Bavuma playing the kind of innings that he did.
Yes.
Which, by the way, may I say, that is one of the most incredibly well-paced innings I have ever seen any batsman play. Although he didn't score a lot of runs, but look at the approach Themba had. Day one, he got off the mark on the 30th ball. He was on 0 until the 30th ball. Easily people could say, what was he doing? 30 balls,
30 balls, no run.
That sounds ridiculous. And I actually commented a joke about it to say, you're Themba Bavuma sitting on the side. You took 30-odd balls to score the first run. Right? And yes, David Bedingham comes, and the last 2 balls he faces on the day, he gets 2 freebies on leg stump and gets 2 fours easily. Like Themba worked so hard for his runs, and Bedingham just gets 2 freebies at the end of the day. It's like ridiculous. If anybody deserved those 2 freebies, it should have been Themba, But I think that approach, we see a different approach in the second innings because the pitch permits it. This speaks to a batsman who have understood the game. And that's why I give credit to Coach Shukri and his team to say, guys, listen, this is our time. Day 1, day 2 was not. It was time for us to work day 1 and day 2. Now it's time for us to play. And they started playing. And it was an excellent, not only was it good in the sense of keeping with, but it's good because they were scoring. They started turning the tides, and they actually went at the Australian bowlers. It's something similar to what we saw Hashim Amla do in Perth.
Yes.
He was batting with Graham Smith, and he scored 196, Hashim Amla.
Oh, yes,
he turned the tides on Australia completely, and that is what we see them doing now, turning the tides and saying, listen, we're on top, let's stay on top. And they remained on top. It was absolutely supreme batting. Credit to Themba Bavuma playing with an injury and continuing to go. I mean, he got injured, he was on 6 runs. Now he's already on 66, to show how great and selecting a captain, that respect has to go to him. I don't care, his critics out there are there. Yes. They will be saying what they want to say, but at this point, you can't help but respect Themba Bavuma, the way that he has approached this final. The first innings, he was amazing in the first innings. Like, honestly, that innings was so important. And then Bedingham came in and showed that he actually understands the conditions in England. He really showed it in the first innings. And now South Africa have come with this approach, attacking. They're more positive, and they're really showing that they're up for the challenge.
Still with Themba Bavuma, but going back a little bit, all the way back to 1999, in that Cricket World Cup where Herschel Gibbs dropped that catch in 1999, and Steve Waugh, we believe he came to Herschel Gibbs and said to Herschel Gibbs, you know what, you have just dropped the Cricket World Cup. Fast forward to yesterday, still with Themba Bavuma, Steve Smith dropped Themba Bavuma. I believe he was still at 2. Now Themba Bavuma is sitting at 66. Is it premature to say Steve Smith just yesterday he dropped the World Test Championship, Elvin? And coincident enough, that was against Australia way back in 1999 when those utterances were made.
Absolutely. And the next thing, the reason I'm laughing about that is now how the wheels have turned.
Oh, yes.
It would have been that instantly say Steve Smith has dropped the World Test Championship, and it is an interesting bit. For me, it's a similar thing that had Janssen dropping Mitchell Starc late on day 2.
Yes.
The fielders coming closer because the ball wasn't quite carrying to the slip fielders, you know. Yes. So they come closer. It makes it so much more difficult when a thick edge flies towards you as a fielder. You have so little time to react that those drop catches will come. Your reaction time is affected, you know. So I would say Steve Smith will feel that he's dropped his championship, perhaps. Who knows where the match would be? We do know Tristan Stubbs can be dangerous on a flat pitch because he can score quickly. So yes. Who knows where the match would be had he not dropped Themba Bavuma. But what we do know is one thing that I always put on the mindset for myself is get over those things. You know, if somebody drops a catch, get over it. Move forward. Don't dwell on that one drop catch. We dropped Mitchell Starc. He batted an entire session yesterday morning. Yes. Get over it. You know, don't fix your mind on there's a drop catch, there's a missed LBW, there's a missed run out, there's this, there's that. Get your mind over it. There will be more opportunities if you continue to keep things simple and stick to your plans. You will get that opportunity again.
The guys that we have on the crease right now, it's Themba Bavuma and Aiden Markram. Both of them, they had their fair shares of trouble in as far as the fans are concerned. They had been on the wrong side in as far as the South African cricket critics are concerned. And by the look of things, it looks like these the two guys, they might just get South Africa over the line and become a part of the history. And then the very same Aiden Markram, we saw him yesterday reaching that 100 runs ton, which the last time South Africa did, that South African player did that was way back in 2012. That was Ashim Amla. So it took South Africa how many? Almost 13 years to finally get a century out in England. What a performance by Aiden Markram, and considering that he's got his captain alongside him. Is it the right time for Aiden Markram and Themba Bavuma especially to silence their critics and finally get in the good books of the South African cricket fans when it matters most?
I agree 100% that this is the time. For me, I am very, very annoyed about the comments from the public. Yes. Pertaining to Bavuma and Markram, and I've actually
I know they've been on the wrong side forever.
Cricketing group.
Yes. Yes, proceed.
I was saying for me it was a problem because I even posted yesterday to say why are we now falling? It's almost like a race thing now where white people defending Markram, black people defending Bavuma, and we find that happening even in the social media platforms where now you criticize Markram, yes. Or maybe say you're a black South African, you criticize Markram, and the white South Africans will criticize Bavuma, and it goes the other way as well. It yes. annoyed me. It was frustrating, and to think that these guys are both playing for the same team.
Yes,
they're both playing for the glory of South African.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cricket. And that's what we should be supporting. Whether you like Markram, you don't like Markram, whether you like Bavuma or you don't like Bavuma, because them playing well services the country well.
Absolutely.
You should be supporting them. both of them, as far as their selection is concerned. And the same goes for Lungingidi. When he was being criticized after the first innings, he didn't bowl well at all, right?
Yes, absolutely.
He comes in the second innings and he gets wickets. We should be happy. But there are people who are like, oh no, finally, or whatever. There's not comments of, well, he finally gets something right. No, we're happy that he's doing well because it bodes well for the team. When one player is playing well, the team is doing well. So this critique about Bavuma this and Markram this should be put to bed. Support both because they both play for the interest of the country. They both serve well when they play well, which they are doing right now. I think it's nonsense. It's nonsense and it should end. This whole thing of we support this guy over that guy. Rather, if he has been selected, rather say, I hope he plays well. That's it.
Oh yes, I see the game has just got underway about a few minutes back, about 5 minutes ago. And guess what, boy? Oh boy, it looks like a thing is still favors South Africa. I believe the score line now reads, I'm trying to look for the score line, but I believe South Africa now, they need, guess what? They need 165 runs. And Themba Bavuma, it looks like he's out, and Tristan Stubbs is on the crease, together with Aiden Markram. We only need 64 runs to go. It is session 1, and we've got 2 days ahead of us. Talk to us. With 64 runs to go and 7 wickets, what can we expect? Can South Africa choke at this stage with only mere 64 runs to go and about how many? 7 wickets. About how many? Almost 190 something overs to spare. Alvin, talk to us.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this match should end in this session. It's fair to say this is the final session of the match. I think it's fair to say that. I thought yesterday would be the final day of the match, but
yes,
the pitch being flattened out meant Australia could bat out the morning session, right?
Yeah.
But it's fair to say that this will be the last session of the match. Unfortunate to see Themba already out in this game, but I'm not surprised. I mean, with the injury he's carrying,
yes,
it wouldn't have been easy for him to just keep on going. But it's okay. I really am not. I'm not going to be critical of him. He batted terrifically in this match. But I'm looking at something very interesting to mention. I'm going to mention 2 things right now. First of all, I only see this game going one way, and that is South Africa winning. If Australia was going to win this match, this first hour of the day, Australia was supposed to spark a major collapse on South Africa. If they don't, the game is gone. Simple as that. Right. Yeah. The second thing I wanted to mention is the comparison between. I'm sorry, I'm just going a little bit back towards Kagiso Rabada as well. Yes. The comparison between Cummins and Rabada comes to bed. Yeah. But even with Bumrah, same thing. It comes to bed here. Rabada's ability to perform. Here it is. Rabada's ability to perform across 2 innings is profound in Test cricket.
Yeah.
If you look at the number of 10-wicket hauls, comparing Rabada, Bumrah, and Cummins, Bumrah, I don't think, doesn't have a 10-wicket haul.
Yes.
Cummins has 1 or 2. Rabada has 4 or 5 10-wicket hauls. What that shows is his ability to bowl across 2 innings, which is what Test cricket is. You play 2 innings, 1. And Rabada shows that time and time again. He will get you wickets in the first innings. He will get you wickets in the second innings. That is a profound capability. You could find a bowler who was able to take 7 wickets in 1 innings and still not get a 10-wicket haul. You tell me you can't get 3 wickets in the second innings. You end up with 9 for the match, which shows you're not a 2 innings kind of bowler. And Rabada totally is. And he's shown it even now. 9 wickets in the match, performing across the 2 innings. Profound work. Why I bring that up is that's what we see with Themba Bavuma. He's performed across the 2 innings. First innings, it was a difficult pitch to bat on. He performed. Second innings, he performs. And that's what we want to see when you're playing Test cricket, the ability to perform across both innings. Sensational work. I only see this match going one way, and that is a Proteas victory. If we fail from here, I think it will be on us, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you have it, South Africa. You heard it from our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Beng, was saying that he only sees one way and one way only. He sees South Africa walking away victorious in as far as this World Test Championship final between the defending champions Australia. And he went on and said, oh yes, this game has definitely put one thing and one thing only to bed, that Kagiso Rabada is definitely the it boy. He is the biggest, is the biggest and the best thing since the sliced bread. You can bring your Bumrah, who cares? You can bring your comments as long as you've got Kagiso Rabada on your side. You are covered. Kagiso Rabada, Giboso. That's not what I said. That's what our cricket correspondent Alvin Bengo had to say in as far as the best performance of KG is concerned in this tournament. He definitely silenced his critics. What a best way to silence your critics. What a best stage, Nokhala, to silence the critics, because the whole world is watching this game. Like our cricket analyst Alvin Bengo did mention that Australia, definitely they were underestimating South Africa. Even looking at their lineup, they were typical Aussies, they were arrogant, and by the look of things, South Africa said, bring it on, we will take the underdog tag and run with it. Why let it silence you, you arrogant Aussies? That's not me who said that. That's what our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Bengu had to say in as far as this game is concerned. I can confirm that South Africa still need 64 runs to go with 7 wickets in hand, and how many? 2 days to go. And our analyst Alvin Bengu, he did go on and say he definitely predicts and hope that South Africa will wrap this game in this first session. We'll be watching that game with keen interest indeed. I can confirm that now it is how many? 60 runs required by South Africa to win this match. Oh boy, it looks like everything is favoring South Africa in as far as this once-off test final is concerned between the defending champions Australia and South Africa. Still with this game, Alvin. So just to put you on, it's not actually a tight spot. It's just a smaller tight spot by the look of things. Looking at the scoreboard, is it fair to say that you can definitely and comfortably put your head on the block and say South Africa will definitely come end of this session or end of today, they will be crowned World Test Champion, Alvin?
Put my head on the block, I don't know. I think because of 2024 T20 World Cup, I know a lot of South Africans are skeptical until the
don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there, please. Don't go there. Don't. Just don't. We don't need that now. We don't need that now. We don't need that now. Come on.
I think that is what scares most of us from speaking up and saying this is our game to win. I think if would I put my head on the block on it? Probably, and say South Africa definitely getting crowned. T is too far. By T, definitely the match will be over on either side by T. But I'm willing to say we're taking this one.
Yeah. There you have it, South Africa, our cricket correspondent and former shape of Alvin Bengo, putting his head on the block, saying South Africa in before tea time, they will definitely be crowned World Test Champion. Oh boy, I can live with that. South African cricket fans, they will definitely can live with that. We will take that prediction at any given time and run with it. Still with South African cricket and just going back to the beginning of our discussion, Alvin, you did mention that at some stage you were doubting the Proteas coach in the form and shape of Shukri Conrad. Considering that Shukri Conrad has now been appointed the boss of all formats in as far as the South African cricket is concerned, the pink ball and the white ball, with Rob Walters having vacated that seat of being the coach of the white ball. What is your take on those developments of Shukri Conrad being the head coach across all formats, Elvin?
I'm gonna be slightly political on it. slightly
You
and say this.
Yes.
The big Q word, you know, Sibonelo, the big Q word.
The quotas.
You know it, and it's
The quotas.
Yebo.
The quotas, yes.
Yebo. The big
Yes.
Q word. And why I bring that up is quota regulations, and those who know about quota regulations in South Africa is
Yes.
in the domestic matches,
Yes.
they are strict, the quota regulations. 6 players of color in every single match.
6
Of
players.
which
Six,
minimum
how many?
3 must.
How many?
6 players of color.
Yes.
6
In the starting 11.
is a must.
Yes.
Né?
Yes.
Of which 3 must be black.
Okay.
Né? That
Yes.
is the minimum standard at a domestic level for each and every game.
Yes.
In the international team, the Proteas, however, the standard is set for the year. I think it's a year standard where they evaluate it over the year. So it doesn't have to be every single game, but at the end of the year, you must have met the quota regulations, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
In other words, you could play 5 players today and then 7 tomorrow. So you've met
Okay.
quota standards because it balances as 6 across the 2 games.
Yes,
Yeah, well,
yes, yes.
So I think that's now what that has done is why I'm bringing that up is throughout Coach Shukri Conrad's tenure as test captain. As test coach.
Yes.
He's been playing coach. Sorry.
Yes.
He's been playing 5 players of color in his test team, right?
Yes.
He's been playing 5.
Yes.
If you go to carefully, you will see you've got Rabada, Bavuma, Rabada, Bavuma, Maharaj,
Yes.
Patterson, and then Dezozi.
Dezozi, yes, yes.
You've got your 5 players of color,
5
right?
players of color, yes.
But the issue what happens is it falls to Rob Walters and his white ball team to balance out the quotas, you know, so that at the end of the year we don't have a problem. It falls to Rob Walters.
Yes,
you see?
yes, I get it, yeah.
Now it becomes difficult for Rob Walters to do that. However, if you give Coach Shukri Conrad all 3 teams, he balances out his own equation. You see, it's him that plays less players in the test team, and it falls to him to balance it out for the ODI.
So, yeah, the accountability, will sit with him, yes.
So that's why I think, yes, he now has to run with everything. He has to balance out everything himself, which for me is absolutely excellent. I love it. Apart from the fact that he's had success in the test team, which is phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
You bring him into the ODI settings as well. See if he can't, if he brings the same ethos into the ODI setting, you know.
Yes.
I say it was an excellent move. I had my doubts about him initially when he came in with the kind of team selection that he had. When may I just be frank, when he got selected first as coach,
yes,
I had no problem. But when he started bringing his team selections, I was like, yeah, this guy is weird. You know, but now I've learned to respect. Honestly, now I've learned to respect and understand his thinking. The players seem to really work well with him, so I think it was an excellent decision. Honestly, I think actually it was an obvious one.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. There we have it. South Africa, our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Beng, all the way from the Free State, says that he definitely supports the decision by Cricket South Africa to appoint Shukri Conrad to be the boss of the Cricket South Africa across all formats in the white ball, so as the pink ball. He said at inception or at the beginning of Shukri Conrad's control of cricket or appointment in the pink ball, he had his doubts, but he has learned to respect the guy. He stopped short of saying that he's eating the humble pie. But we'll forgive Alvin Beng for doubting Lapana Intiza Shukri Conrad, who seemed to be pressing all the right button and get his team to sing all the right notes in as far as winning is concerned, as far as the putting South African cricket on the global map once again. So by the look of things, yes, Lapana, our cricket correspondent Alvin Beng has stopped short of saying that Shukri Conrad might as well be the best thing since the sliced bread to have led South Africa in as far as international cricket is concerned. Still with the cricket South Africa, as we wrap up our discussion, another talking point in as far as the cricket South Africa is concerned was that of Henrich Klaasen. I don't know, I'm tempted to say he's a premature retirement or just retirement. Talk to us about the boardroom discussion in as far as Cricket South Africa and Henrich Klassen discussion of getting Henrich Klassen to continue playing for South Africa, of which eventually we got the news that they seem to have not found each other, and then Henrich Klassen eventually retired from playing for South Africa. Talk to us about that drama.
Yeah. I think you talk about Henrik Klassen. He's such an impactful player.
Yes.
And I think around the world, we know that. We know he is a player of impact. He worked hard to get into the Proteas. He worked very hard to get into the Proteas setup. He had been shining in domestic cricket for quite a few seasons, but couldn't quite find a space in the team. And he eventually sort of pushed himself in. He's sort of like, one of those players who forced their way into the team. And he's one of those. Like, he really sort of like forced his way in, because there's always been, you go back to 2015 where South Africa had a set top six that was absolutely solid. You had Amla, De Kock, Faf, AB, JP, and David Miller.
Yes, absolutely.
Top six was untouchable, unbreakable, So it was hard for him to sort of push and force his way into the Proteas setup, and he eventually did. And upon him reaching there, now we look at him retiring, and I do agree with you, it was a premature retirement. At 33 years old, he still had a few years in him. Yes. And most people's comments is David Miller at 36 is still playing.
Yes.
Why is Henrik Klassen at 33 leaving?
Yes.
So it definitely is a premature retirement. With that being said, a lot of speculation on why he retired,
absolutely,
right? Why he stepped away from it. Talks between Cricket South Africa and himself breaking and whatnot. For me, I have three possible narratives to it, right?
Yes.
There's the common narrative, which is money, right? The big leagues paying more than what CSA is paying, and that's the common narrative, to say big leagues, that's where he wanted to play because that's where the money is, right? The second narrative is his own narrative. What did he say coming forward? His narrative was he wasn't enjoying playing international cricket anymore, right? Which is common amongst players who retire. Jacques Kallis said the same thing. He said he just wasn't feeling it anymore. He wasn't enjoying the
de Villiers as well.
Some of the South African players who retire, early, it's sometimes family responsibilities. Yes. But with Henrik Klassen, it was just he was tired of the international scene, basically. Then the third narrative, which is now a conspiracy narrative, is one that speaks of, did he get along with Shukri Conrad?
Yes,
now the head coach.
I heard about that, yes.
There was that small little voice of, is there a problem between Shukri and him? Did he prefer Rob Walters? What was that? That's a speculation, and each person may have it the way that they want to. The public may talk about it the way that they want to. On my side, I say, take a man upon his word, and we're going to say he didn't enjoy international cricket anymore, probably. But the way I see it, he was playing really well. He was ranked number 4 in the world as an ODI batsman. He could have really accomplished a lot in his career. The guy was really playing well. And what surprises me as well is, and it's surprising when players retire like this. Virat Kohli, same thing. I think Rohit Sharma, same thing. Players who will say something and then suddenly retire. Rohit Sharma had said he still has a lot of cricket in him and then retired from Test cricket. Virat Kohli said he still aims to get 10,000 runs in Test cricket and then he retired. Now we have Henrik Klassen who said he wants to be the best batsman in the world and then he retired.
Oops.
So that it does make us go, maybe there is more to the story than meets the eye.
Exactly.
What are the discussions at the round table between him and CSA? Was there something said? Was there something spoken? We know there's so many of these retirements that are very suspect for South Africa. We know Faf du Plessis' career ended very, very suspectly. AP de Villiers down in weird fashion. There are those instances where we're like, but this retirement doesn't make sense. And I think this is one of them with Henrik Klassen. It's really one of those retirements that genuinely doesn't make sense. But take the man upon his word, I guess. However, it is one that is worth sort of speculation and whatever. Nicholas Pooran's retirement is one that bombed the world completely. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, it's basically it stands there basically to say it's not something we're happy with. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth, particularly of fans, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
It is what it is at the end of the day. There you have it, South Africa. Our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Ping. I strongly believe that the retirement of Henry Sheklasen was lately bit premature, but unfortunately, we are not privy to exactly what went down behind those closed doors in the boardrooms. Still going back to that World Test Championship final between the defending champions South Africa and the defending champions Australia rather and South Africa. I can confirm that the score right now reads South Africa need 55 runs to win and still 7 wickets in hand. I'm tempted to say with still 2 days to play, what a best position South Africa find themselves in. 7 wickets in hand, 55 runs needed. We are still in session 1. As we wrap up our discussion, Elvin, so surely things look great in as far as South African chances are concerned of winning this game is concerned. I can go on and confirm that Aiden Makram has faced how many 175 balls and he has scored, listen to this, 111 runs. And then Tristan Stubbs has faced 15 balls and he has scored 4 runs. And just to go back to our at the beginning of our discussion, we did hear our correspondent Lapano Elvin Ping saying that Tristan Stubbs is very, very good on the flat deck. And by the look of things, it looks like Tristan Stubbs is proving our cricket analyst, Elvin Bengu, pretty good. Elvin. Hello?
Hello, Babu. Yeah.
Yes.
I do expect him to bat through. I expect Tristan Stubbs not to be out going in. I do believe if Aiden does lose some concentration somehow and loses his wicket, if Australia will get one, I would say if it's possible. But in my view, I think at the end of the day, I think these two are the ones who are going to take us through. I'm not putting my head on the block on it, but I do think they're the two that will take us through.
Oh, yes, so there you have it, South Africa. Our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Ping strongly believe that Aiden Makram and Tristan Stubbs are the one that might just bet us through and get South Africa over the line. In so doing, that will be enough to see South Africa crowned the World Test Championship come end of the day, or even better, come end of this session number 1. That's how we come to an end of our very, very interesting discussion with our cricket analyst in the form and shape of Alvin Ping, all the way from the Free State, Go Kronstadt. Thank you very much, Alvin, for your time. Alvin,
thank you for having me, Spanelo, and thank you to the fans for the listening and everybody that's been watching and listening and all of that. I really enjoyed myself today.
Oh, yes, we enjoyed more than anyone having you on the studio, even though it was a telephonic discussion. Hoping just one day when you're in Joburg, you'll make a 10-year and then we'll get to have you in person here in the studio, Elvin Organja. Because I heard you saying that you do come to Joburg every now and then. So please, when you happen to make a trip here, go Joburg, let us know so that we can slot you in.
Sure, no problem. Whenever I'm in, I'll let you know, Spanish.
Absolutely. That was our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Ping, all the way from Free State, talking to us about the World Test Championship final between the defending champions Australia and South Africa that is currently underway out in England at Lord's Cricket Ground, the home of cricket. That's where things are happening for the past 4 days. Things they seem to be favoring South Africa. I can confirm the score still favors South Africa. 55 runs to win for South Africa. The score on the second innings, it reads 227 runs, having lost 3 wickets. That's how things stand in favor of South Africa. Elvin, thank you very much. Let's do this some other time once again.
Sibonge
kakhulu Kaya. That was Elvin all the way from Free State, but he was born and bred in KwaZulu-Natal, a show to be exactly, that is north of KZN.
inspire Protea Fire at the ICC World 2020 in India. Tag your posts with
You are tuning into Sports Geek with Sponelo Ngobo, only on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music. Halala. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Nevada World FM. Your beat, your music. It is Saturday, the 14th of June 2024, as we bring you Sports Geek with Sponelo Ngobo once again here on Nevada World FM. Your beat, your music. Oh, I'm tempted to say good morning, but unfortunately we have overlapped as we had that interesting and a great discussion with our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Bengo. Oh boy, what a knowledgeable cricket correspondent that is Alvin Beng, all the way from Free State, Kokronstad to be exact. Time is definitely not on our side, but who can blame us? We got carried away with that discussion where we spoke World Test Championship, where South Africa takes on the defending champions Australia out in England. Lords Cricket Stadium, the home of cricket in as far as the cricket, international cricket is concerned. Time is definitely not on our side. We'll try to fly through the segments and try and see how much can we salvage from the show for today. But like I said, time is definitely not on our side. Thank you very much to my colleague, that is Louis Govender. Oh, what a great show he brought us this morning. Like I did mention that your Saturday mornings will never be the same again with Louis Govender behind the microphone. What a great show he had. Oh, he played some great music. Something I heard him playing. Who was it? Johnny Nash. Oh boy, only Louis Govender does that. Oh, what a great show that is. I'm a big fan of that show. So catch Louis Govender every Saturday morning between 8 and 10 o'clock. But today, guess what? He overlapped. He overlapped because DJ Powen was not available to bring us Teen Kids between 10 and 11. So Louis Govender took advantage of the situation. Who blames him? And none of us is complaining. And me included, I did not complain at all. I enjoyed the music that Louis Govender dished out for us this morning. As always, I'm not flying solo. I do have my co-pilot in the form and shape of Modiba Peter, who will be dishing out all the analysts in as far as different sporting codes are concerned. Talk of Modiba Peter. Modiba, good morning and an official warm welcome.
In fact, it's a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes, yeah, right.
We're used to it because we were just schooled, fantastic schooling, superb schooling from Alvin Ebengu there. That was wonderful. I enjoyed a lot. So with that, let me greet our very lovely viewers and listeners, and also Palad behind the scenes. And thanks for having us. And looking forward to dissect everything that has been taking place, and that will be taking place this wonderful weekend.
Oh yes, indeed. Still talking of the 14th of June 2024. That reminds me that today it is my younger brother's birthday, Wandile Ngobo. Oh yes, I'm not gonna disclose what age is he turning today, because I'm not gonna be popular with him. He's gonna fight me for disclosing his age. But be that as it may, it is a birthday today, the 14th of June 2024. Hoping that he goes on and have a great time. He's based out in Mpumalanga, Emelo, and talking of Emelo, I heard that there was a big accident last night in Emelo. So for this morning, I was panicking. First thing that I did was to check on him and check if he was not part of that road accident that happened last night out in Emelo. So luckily, I got to find out that he is fine, so he will get a chance to celebrate his birthday. That is Wandile Ngobo, all the way in Mpumalanga. That is my younger brother, who's hoping that you'll have a great afternoon and enjoy his birthday today, being the 14th of June 2025. At the summit of today's show, we'll definitely kickstart the things by looking at what's happening in as far as the United Rugby Championship final. Oh yes, boy, the curtain is finally coming down in as far as URC is concerned. It's happening out in Ireland. Croc Park. That's where the South African franchise in the form and shape of the mighty Blue Bulls, all the way from Pretoria, will be representing South Africa in that once-off final against the Irish side. That is a Leinster. Listen to this. It is coached by the former Springboks head coach in the form and shape of Jacques Nienaber. Yes. So one way or another, South Africa will be the winner come end of the game. Come this afternoon. I believe the game gets underway. Come at 5 p.m. this afternoon. But we'll talk and dive to that URC final that is taking place out in Ireland this afternoon, and where South Africa will definitely be represented by none other than the mighty Blue Bulls. Blow belly out, back the blue. Our blue forever. There is the mighty Blue Bulls for you. And we'll also look at how did they get into the final. And unfortunately, the people from KwaZulu-Natal that definitely do not want to hear how did Blue Bulls get into the final. But unfortunately, we have to go down and do it and dive to that and dissect how did the Blue Bulls make it to the final. Let's quickly go for a breather. When we return, we'll definitely dive to URC final that is taking place out in England, in Ireland rather, not England. Blue Bulls from Pretoria, they take on the home side out in Ireland in the form and shape of Leinster.
Welcome. This is your favorite station. Stay tuned.
Para
Angicela ningishutheni sengezile khiphani iviano sambe. Oh, thank you very much to Gun Flavor, Master KG, and Emo. They gave us the song titled Angshuteni. Angshuteni. Sengezile, Kipan Iviano, our DJ Fats, our Setukushaya Amaround, Statela Pana, a smallanyana, a short left. Our time is definitely not on our side. Without any further ado, let's cut down to the chase, diving straight to rugby. United Rugby Championship final takes center stage come this afternoon out in Ireland. That's when the home side Leinster are based in Dublin at Croker Park. They will take on the South African Giants in the form and shape of the mighty Blue Bulls, the Blue Bell, back blue, support blue, the Blue Bulls. They will be locking horns in that once-off URC final. Modiba, talk to us. What can we expect?
A humdinger of a final by the looks of things, as you spoke about Jack Ninaper with Leo Helen working together there in the technical team against Jack White, the coach of Vodacom Bulls. So I'm looking at the situations of which, okay, like I've said it before on the show, that Leinster, they always choke after finishing top of the standings. So, and in the semi-final, in the quarterfinals, in the last 2 seasons, of which this is third season, hopefully they wouldn't want history to repeat itself. And I'm looking also at the Vodacom Bulls, and I realized that last season they were in the final of this particular URC Championship final.
Yes.
Against the Glasgow Warriors. Glasgow Warriors, we're talking about a team here that lost to the Leinster in the semi-final, 37-19, when I remember very well. And then also the Vodacom Bulls managing to surprise the Sharks there by 25-13, of which I look at the Sharks in particular. We were so adamant that they are the favorites to win this particular final because of, we spoke about those kind of players, your Siya Kolisi, Oxinche,
Makazole Mampimpi, Obo Fasi.
So I was thinking,
Andre Esterhazen, the list is endless.
Experience, they'll go all the way to final, but it wasn't to be because of, a game of sport has always in different ways, and doesn't have therefore. So that's why things change in the semi-finals, and the very same Leinster this time around, they reach the finals. I think they will be saying, let's not, this is an opportunity to redeem ourselves because of we lost in the Investec Champions Cup against Southampton Saints in the semi-final. This time around, I see they've got the Archis Neiman as one of their players.
Yes.
So representing our very own Dipoke. So also want to do well against the Vodacom Bulls, whom as well we've got the likes of Yaveli Leroux. So in that club, Kenan Modi. So they've always been in the international level with that particular experience. So for me, looking at the stats, they favor Leinster because of they've done well in the round robin, they've done well in the Investec Cup despite losing in the semi-finals. You get Vodacom Bulls will be saying, let's not repeat last season when we lost to Glasgow Warriors in the final. This time around, let's put South Africa on the map, as we've been excited throughout the season that them, the what you call the DH Thomas, who they struggled, things did not go well. The Sharks as well. The only team that disappointed me were the Lions, but hopefully they will do well. But I still think Leinster will clinch this one and redeem themselves from what transpired in the Investec Champions Cup semi-finals.
Yes, I heard you, Mutiba, saying that you expect Leinster to clinch this one. But going back to the stats, especially when it comes to knockout stages, if there is one team that has got the know-how of how to beat Leinster when it comes to knockout, it is none other than the mighty Blue Bulls, whom they are facing in the final. For the past 2 seasons, Blues, they have beaten Leinster in the semi-finals out in Ireland. And this time around, they are playing out in Ireland. It is the knockout stages. It is the winner takes all. So Blue Bulls, they definitely have the know-how of beating Leinster when it matters most. And furthermore, going back and look at the South African history of United Rugby Championship rugby final, in as far as South African teams are concerned, just go back. You'll see that DHL Stormers first season they were in the final, they lost. The following season they won it. Coming back to Blue Bulls, last season they were in the final, they lost in the final. Fast forward this season, they're in the final. Don't you think Blue Bulls, they might just follow that South African trend, getting into the final, just check how the things are done in the final, come next season and clinch it, of which might be enough to see Blue Bulls walking away victorious. And also having, like I did mention, that they do have the nose of a beating Leinster in the knockout stages out in Ireland. They've done it before. What makes you think they might not do it this time around this afternoon?
Okay, you are definitely right in terms of the stats that, okay, in the last 6 meetings, they've won 4 times, and in Leinster they've won 2 times. And I'm looking at the current season where they managed to meet 2 times. That's when they matched top the Vodacom Bulls winning both the first round and the second round. So I think this time around, Leinster will be saying, this is our time to redeem ourselves. This is our time because we are playing at home. We need to make sure that we impress our fans, which will definitely come in numbers and fill up that particular venue there.
Croke Park,
which will take place in Dublin there. So that's how I'm seeing that this time around they won't want to lose third on the trot, and it will be, for them it will be a disgrace of you go all the way, you win their matches in the round robin, you finish first with a huge gap towards the Glasgow Warriors, and then go all the way to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and you emerge victorious. So I think the home ground will definitely favor them, despite of what you said about the Vodacom Bulls dominating them. But also, they are also in a tricky situation of that you can't lose 2 back-to-back finals.
That's
so
Bulls.
That's Vodacom Bulls, white for me. So it makes the situation tricky. But having seen them losing twice to the very same Vodacom Bulls and Leinster and playing at home, I think they've got an edge going into this one.
Oh, there you have it, South Africa. You heard our sports analyst Mutiba Peter saying that no matter what, he tips the home side, that is the Leinster, to walk away victorious come this afternoon. He said there's no way that Leinster, they've been sitting at the summit from game 1 of this season's URC championship, and they come on the last hurdle, lose once again to the visitors in the forming shape of Blue Bulls from South Africa. But on the other side, yes, it will be remembered that it will be their second final running. We remember that Blue Bulls lost in the final last season against the Scottish outfit in the forming shape of Glasgow Warriors. But will the home side Leinster have go all the way and get over the line and finally for the first time win the URC final, or will Blue Bulls bring it home to South Africa? So one way or another, we are certain that come this afternoon will definitely have the new champions, considering that both teams, Leinster and Blue Bulls, they never won the URC final. Will it be the Vodacom Blue Bulls from South Africa, or will it be Leinster all the way from Ireland?
For me, I'll go with Leinster, judging from how they started from day one being top of the standings and also doing well. Because in the past, I was questioning the way they choked every season, where you finish top of the ground groupings, but you are knocked out in the quarterfinals. Yes, I know the game of sport is very, very unpredictable. Sometimes anything in the game of sport is very how can I put
possible.
It's possible,
yes,
and it doesn't have therefore. But then, judging from how they've been in throughout this wonderful journey, I'll give it to them, the Leinster there to walk because of their playing at home. They'll want to impress the millions of their fans there in Dublin at Folk Park.
Oh yes, by the look of things, it looks like our sports analyst Mutiba Peter is definitely not shaken, no matter how hard I try to twist his arm and get him to change his mind in favor of the South African team in the forming shape of the mighty Blue Bulls. He sticks to his gun and say he tips Leinster to walk away victorious come this evening. Don't forget, I believe that game gets underway come
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock
Yes.
this evening. That is the kick-off out in Croke Park, out in Ireland. Leinster, which are coached by the former Springboks coach in the forming shape of Jacques Nineba, and the Blue Bulls are coached by Jack White, who is also a former Springboks winning coach. So one way or another, I can confirm that both coaches that will be coaching this evening, they won the World Cup with the Springboks. Jake White did it with the Springboks all the way back in 2007 when South Africa beat England in that Rugby World Cup that was hosted out in France. In 2007. Okay. Jacques Nineba, fast forward, Jacques Nineba as well won the Cricket World Cup with the very same Springbok. So job well done indeed in as far as South African rugby is concerned. So one way or another, South Africa will have something to smile about. Yes, we would love to see Blue Bulls winning it, but should it happen that Leinster win it, we'll try and claim the pride. Got back door, courtesy of their head coach in the form of Jacques Ninepa. Now, moving away from rugby, because time is definitely not on our side. Let's dive straight to motor racing. What's happening in that front?
There's a Canadian Grand Prix that is taking place this coming weekend, and well, I'm very impressed with the McLaren boys there. I think they're doing well for me. Lando Norris as well as Oscar Piastri, always in the nick of things, especially when it comes to being on the podium. Although in the previous race that took place, Max Verstappen was the winner. So I'm also curious to see if he will be able to overtake them in this weekend, the Canadian Grand Prix. Hopefully, he will come to the party as well. So because of his new teammate is not performing well. So I'm looking at how things are happening there as far as the positions in terms of the standings of the individual drivers. Oscar Piastri with 186 points, followed by Lando Norris, 176 points. Both of them, they're driving McLaren, by the way. And then Max Verstappen, 137 points, which means he's trailing them. The Oscar Piastri there by close to 49 points there, if one will try to estimate that. So George Russell as well is part of the battle there with 111 points. So you can see that for Max Verstappen, the slot is open with this a Canadian Grand Prix of 70 laps. This one, I think that's going to drive longer. So hopefully it doesn't experience the tires being punched and collisions as well, like usual. So it's time for him to try to close the gap, because if he was the previous winner, when you reflect back to last season,
yes,
with the likes of your Lando Norris and George Russell also on the podium last season. So McLaren, because of that doing well, I foresee one of them winning this one, because of Max Verstappen this current season. It's not that impressive, blowing hot and cold for me. So it's going to be an interesting one. But when you look at it in terms of the cars, I see McLaren that's top with a huge gap, 362 points, and Ferrari there at number 2 with 165 points. So I was busy doing in preparations to the show, trying to find out how many gaps that they opened there. It's 197 between McLaren and Ferrari. So it's a huge mountain for them to cover this gap. So it shows that by the looks of things, come November, McLaren, in terms of the cars, will definitely be champions. So, but in terms of the drivers individually, it's a tricky one. So I think it will go down to the wire, judging from how Oscar Piastri is leading Lando Norris by 10 points, and also Max Verstappen trailing by 49 points. So which makes things very exciting there. So Mercedes at number 3 with 156 points. Red Bull, this one, they've dropped very, very poor there with number 4 with 141 points. So I tried to do some calculations. I found that they are behind with 221 points. So of which Max Verstappen and the new teammate, they must push up. I think it's Morbidelli, if I remember very well. They must try to pull up their socks so that we see, going forward, we see the Red Bull in a familiar position, both individually and with the cars. So it's gonna be a lovely Canadian Grand Prix come this weekend. 70 laps. Who will be the winner? I think we'll get the answer tomorrow. But when we come back, we'll give them the results and also look ahead. Hopefully, we might be this time around with MotoGP, that is the motorsport, whereby Alex Marquez, Marc Marquez are also battling out for the title.
Oh yes, finally, South Africa, we got to hear our sports analyst Motiba Peter finally conceding that Max Verstappen is definitely not doing great this season, because come hell or high water, he always found a way of singing Max Verstappen praises. But today, the 14th of June 2025, finally Motiba finally considered that Max Verstappen is not having a great season at all. Time is definitely not on our side. Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, we'll look at what went down in as far as the tennis is concerned, Roland Garros, and be reminded that US Open is just around the corner. Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, Roland Garros will just do some little bit post-mortem in as far as Roland French Open is concerned, with the US Open just around.
Not Wimbledon, I think it's Wimbledon.
It's Wimbledon rather. Yes. Wimbledon. It's not US Open, it is Wimbledon rather.
Getting your business seen online can be tricky and confusing. At Silly Moose Designs, we offer a comprehensive list of services that can be personalized according to your budget and your marketing goals. From hosting to ranking on search engines, we've got you covered. Visit sillymoosedesigns.co.za to get started. We'll approach your website with passion, purpose, and power. Silly Moose Designs is a proud partner of Nirvana World FM.
Ever heard a baby bellow at the top of its lungs in a public place? Far from your best music track, right? For a more beautiful note, contact Nirvana Sounds for your studio and live recordings. We engineer sound to perfection according to your specifications. We ensure crisp and clear audio-video conversions and delight your function with sound, stage, and lights for hire. Our quotes are immeasurable to the ear. Contact us now on 083-945-7664. Nirvana Sounds, powered by Gospel World Radio.
In a world where compassion is needed, Ashraful Aid lent a hand to the Palestinian refugees. A source of warmth in the chill of winter, we supported children and families in Jordan. An indication to humanity's resilience and the power of unity. Embrace the spirit of giving because every bit counts. Together we can make a difference. Donate today.
All summer long.
Sunshine and happiness
Forever Young, that is a Rod Stewart. Talking of Forever Young, that once again reminds me that it is today my younger brother's birthday. I'm sure he'll be hoping that he will remain forever young. That was a Rod Stewart giving us that song Forever Young. Surely my brother is singing along to this song and hoping, in as far as his age is concerned, he will remain forever young. I'm not going to comment on that. Time is definitely not on our side. Without any further ado, let's try and save and salvage whatever we still have of the show. Without any further ado, let's dive straight to tennis. There is a French Open. Roland Garros, if you will. Oh boy, things went down last weekend. People won. People made funny comments, especially in as far as the women's category is concerned. But luckily, we do have Motiba Peter to tell us what eventually went down in as far as Roland Garros is concerned. That is a French Open for you.
Definitely, and some of them were so losers. They attached so losers. Some of them were surprised as to how, really? Then that's how I like that part of the women singers where, okay, Coco Gauff managed to play against Arina Sabalenka, of which Coco Gauff was trying to redeem herself, considering that she lost in the final of the Italian Open against Jasmine Paolini. And you look at Arina Sabalenka, she wasn't doing well, and I think for her to reach to the finals, in the semi-finals, she won against Iguasaitek, of which we always know that it's a battle of the rankers, where sometimes Iguasaitek, she's top of the rankings,
yes,
and then Arina Sabalenka currently she's dominant, and then due to what she did last season and being top of the rankings as well. But in that regard, Coco Gauff managed to surprise Arina Sabalenka 6-7. She lost the first set, recovers from the second set with 7-5. Third set 6-2, and then last set 6-4. So this shows that she's a real winner. As you know, she's won the US Open before, as we fully spoke about it as well as WTA Final. So it's well done to Coco Gauff to show that, okay, I lost in the Italian Open. This is an opportunity to redeem myself. So I was so surprised to hear Arina Sabalenka uttering such nonsense of saying, okay, the weather was favoring Coco Gauff, of which there was some too much wind, of which, to my surprise, had if she played against the Iguasaitek, the very same lady she defeated in the semi-finals, she would have won that particular final. So why can't she just accept the defeat, sportsmanship, and then give credit ways too? That's what I was anticipating or expecting from a player of a caliber that is Arina Sabalenka. Then you go to the men's side, the battle between Carlos Alcaraz up against Yannick Sinner. You know, as I've said it before, that it's a battle of cocomelons, same age group. You realize that the very same Yannick Sinner, she managed to overcame Novak Djokovic, of which,
the veteran
himself. And I think this year he might turn 39. So age is taking it toll. And I also heard the rumors that this might be his last Roland Garros.
Who's that?
Novak Djokovic.
Oh yes, definitely age is not on his side.
You see, so, and he was just humbled easily like that. So I think he also must have been unhappy with the outcome of that particular semi-final. And you look at Carlos Alcaraz, I think for me, winning back-to-back French Open, that has been massive. And you look at also, he will be the defending champions, as you spoke about Wimbledon come July. Should I say month end of this particular month?
Yeah.
So that's when Wimbledon will be starting. So we'll also alert the listeners of that going forward. But then he's been having a season of his own, trying to reduce the capacity as far as the ranking standings are concerned with Yannick Sinner. So in that regard, and it was so pleasing to see that the very same Carlos Alcaraz was 2 sets down, but he managed to recover from set 3, set 4, and set 5. And if you look at those sets in particular, you realize that there were so many ties, of which, okay, he lost the first set 4-6 is Carlos Alcaraz, and then also lost 6-7 after a tie of 4, and then he recovered from the third set winning 6-4, and then the fourth set there after a tie of 3 winning 7-6, and the last set also after a tie of 2 winning 7-6. This is how he managed to defend his title, and it's well done to Carlos Alcaraz, showing that Yannick Sinner, I'll always battle with you whenever I'm needed. And so also showing that the confidence that I'm having currently, having won this particular French Open, I'll take it to Wimbledon come month end of June. So yeah, it was just interesting because of also Rafael Nadal was brought into the picture because of this is Carlos Alcaraz's 5th title, which shows that Rafael Nadal also, in the very same age, in 2008, he was winning his 5th title. And
yes.
And you can check that currently, I think he must have retired because of, I'm trying to add the age during that time, and currently he's 39 years.
Yes.
So he did well for himself. It was his.
And they're both from Spain.
They are both from Spain, and in his 5th title, he was scraping Wimbledon. And I'm looking into the stats. I realized that from 2004 until 2009, in fact 2013, where he won the title in 9 times in succession. That was Marvel. You can see that really tennis has really played well in Spain. So, but it's well done, Carlos Alcaraz. Let's see what Wimbledon will be brought in store, because he will have pressure to defend that particular title. And Yannick Sinner will be saying also, I wanna also avenge. And then also Arina Sabalenka, like we rightfully said, she might become a sore loser once again, and try to not to accept the defeat, but I think she'll want to redeem herself and also improve where she got wrong. But I think for her to attack such ways, it's just uncalled for. So, but then well done to the 2 winners, Coco Gauff as well as Carlos Alcaraz.
Let's quickly go back to the women's category. Just that Arina Sabalenka's sore losers comments after Coco Gauff was crowned champions in as far as the women's category is concerned, in the 2025 French Open is concerned. Let's hear what went down. Yeah, let's hope we'll come right with the audios in as far as those utterances that were made by Coco Arina Sabalenka in as far as after Coco Gauff was crowned 2025 women's category champion. And let's hope everything will go accordingly. Let's give it a try. It looks like...
Stand with me.
Gauff definitely has an ability to just generally frustrate Arina Sabalenka. The way Gauff uses her legs in that matchup is astonishing. To be able to chase down Sabalenka's shots, make her hit one extra ball repeatedly, but it feels on Sabalenka's racket. That's what I remember from that US Open final. It's like she needed to actually rein it in a bit, Sabalenka, and probably use some of the variety that she's got in her game a lot more now. She just kept going for it, and the unforced errors piled up, and she almost like needed to say to Gauff,
well, you go and win it.
You go and win it. Yeah. Put this on your racket.
But that's the trap that Coco Gauff lays for opponents, isn't it? I always think, and Madison Keys pretty much explained this for us a couple of days ago, didn't she? Like, winners' stats have different parameters in a Coco Gauff match, because it might look like, let's say,
sorry for that clip. Yes, it is talking to Coco Gauff and Arina Sabalenka's match, but that's not the clip that I was actually looking for. I will try and see if I can get the clip that I wanted, and hopefully get those utterances that were made by Arina Sabalenka, being the sole loser after she went down against the champion, that is Coco Gauff. Let's try this clip. But this one also, it is the commentary of those utterances that were made by Arina Sabalenka, being the sole loser after she went down against the reigning champion Coco Gauff.
Win a final of a Grand Slam with your technique. You win it with your mind and your heart. Here, Coco was superior. I think it was both Sabalenka losing the final and Coco winning it. But what is interesting, when she makes those comments, I gave her the final, if it was Iga in final, she would have won. It means that she's trying to deny the mental aspect of the game. Coco's greatest achievement during that match is she stayed composed from the first point to the last one. Didn't show anything, she stayed focused. She was ready to fight whenever there was one little opening. It's a Grand Slam final. So there is a big emotional part for everyone. Being able to deal with your emotions is part of what makes you victorious or not. Coco was 10 times better than Sabalenka at dealing with her emotions. And fighting spirit, it's another level. I don't see anyone like her, not one. At some point, Arina didn't want to miss anymore. She started to slow down. And when she slowed down, Coco stepped in and boom, started to attack her. So Coco gave her zero option. Her disappointment brought this unfortunate comment. And she clearly regretted it because she made a statement afterwards.
There you have it, South Africa. Things definitely went south in as far as Arina Sabalenka's loss against Coco Gauff. She definitely showed that how much of a sore loser that she is. There is none other than Arina, number one ranked tennis star Arina Sabalenka.
Yeah, very funny because I'm looking also at Coco Gauff. I think she's still young as well, 21 by the
Yes.
things. But just to come and shock your champion like that. So, but she really deserves it because of I was busy listening to those utterances made by the commentator there about Coco Gauff, that she stayed composed, she stayed constant, and
Yes.
it worked for her. So with Arina Sabalenka, she must work on her emotions. I think such utterances are not needed in the game of sport.
Oh yes, Arina Sabalenka must definitely work on her emotions. She must have, what do they call it? Emotional intelligence, so they say. Now we're diving away from a women's category straight to a men's category. Let's see what the 2025 men's category champion in the form and shape of Carlos Alcaraz had to say after he was crowned champion. Here is the 2025 Roland Garros French Open champion for you, Carlos Alcaraz.
I want to start with Yannick. It is amazing the level you have. Congratulations for an amazing 2 weeks, amazing tournament. To you, to your team, I know the hard work you're putting every day. It is huge. Honestly, I know how hard you're chasing this tournament or every tournament. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be champion, not once but many times. It's a privilege to share the court with you in every tournament, making history with you.
Yep. There was the 2025 Roland Garros champion in the form and shape of Carlos Alcaraz, paying tribute, giving credit to his opponent, that is the number one ranked Italian tennis star in the form and shape of Yannick Sinner.
Very true. Those are sportsmanships that we need as far as sports is concerned, unlike Arina Sabalenka. So yeah, it really give him credit. But I think also Carlos Alcaraz, he deserves the award. Like he also stating that from 2005 until 2014, that's where we saw Rafael Nadal winning this particular Roland Garros 9 times on the trot. Although I spoke about Novak Djokovic as well, having won it 3 times, but this time around things didn't go according to his plan. Hard luck, and let's see if next year he will decide whether to carry on or retire, because of retirement is just looming for on his side. So, but Carlos Alcaraz, they really deserve the title for me.
Carlos Alcaraz, they deserve the title. That's what our sports analyst in the form and shape of Motiba Peter said. He said, Carlos Alcaraz showed also great sportsmanship. That's what we need in sports, not so losers like the number one rank women in the women's category in the form and shape of Arina Sabalenka. Let's quick go for a breather. Like I said, like they always say, time flies when you're having fun, and that's exactly what we had when we had that telephonic cricket discussion with our cricket correspondent in the form and shape of Alvin Pengo. We got carried away. We had fun talking to him, and then some reason or another, we overlapped time-wise, but let's try and salvage some of the segments that we have for you in this show. We still have a little bit of a netball and football. That's what we still have, and we try and just quickly make a 10 go netball inyana and get in and get out, and then dive straight to a football for you. And here is Alekhawola with the song titled Onketsang. If you are on social media, surely this song, this is an old song, but there is some influencer, MC Betu, who has revived this song, and this song is doing the rounds on social media. It has been revitalized. Here is Alekhawola Onketsang.
I like the way you dance.
Onketsang. That is Alec Khawule, made popular once again by the influencer MC Betu. If you are always on Facebook, you will definitely get to see that influencer MC Betu dancing to this song by Alec Khawule, Onketsang. You are still tuning in to Sports Geek with Smanalo Ngobo here on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music, and we come to you live from our Lenesa studios here in Johannesburg, south of Johannesburg, to be exact. Kolenzi Bashonjalo Lapana Soweto. That is Lenesia Extension 1. That's where we come to you, and that's where our studios are based. Talking of Nirvana World FM, you can always get in touch with us on our studio WhatsApp line number, which is 062-857742. Our studio WhatsApp line number again is 062-857762. If you want to advertise here on Nirvana World FM, you can always get in touch with Shashi Singh on 083-945-7664. If you want to advertise here on Nirvana World FM, your beat, your music, you can always get in touch with Shashi Singh on 083-945-7664. And we are also available on social media platforms as Nirvana World FM. Talking of social media platforms, you can also go on and type at Sponela Ngobo across all social media platforms. That's why you'll get to converse with me 7 days a week. On YouTube, you can also go on and type at Sports Geek with Sponela Ngobo, and you will get to follow the podcast of this show. That's where we ensure that you don't miss a thing in as far as Sports Geek with Sponela Ngobo is concerned. Now, as we approach towards the end of our show, let's quickly look at our second last segment in the form and shape of Telkom Netball League. I believe it is a Power Week 2. Modiba, talk to us.
Definitely, it's Power Week 2, which kick-started yesterday and then to end on the 19th of this particular June. So hopefully, going into Power Week 3 come to July, we'll definitely know who will be the real champion. So I'm looking in teams like your Crinams, your 4 times champions,
yes,
as well as your Jaguars, the 6 times champions. So Crinams are currently the defending champions. So I think hopefully
yes,
they will be looking to defend their title. And also, let's not forget that our South African under-21 are part of this particular study.
Oh, yes.
So as you know, Gilbretta is around the corner. 97 days to go, if I can just alert the listeners as well. So currently, I do have the fixtures of the matches that will be taking place from now 1 o'clock going into tomorrow as well. So we've got the likes of Diamonds up against Sonoblom, and also Kingdom Queens up against Limpopo Lilies at 1 o'clock. Limpopo Baobabs up against the Golden Fireballs there at 1 o'clock as well. They'll be playing concurrently together. And then the Tornadoes up against the Comets at 3 o'clock. So those are the matches in the Division 1 and also Division 2. So in terms of the standings as well. So Alus will play the Flames later on at 5 o'clock for Division 1. And also the Stings up against the 6 times champions, that is the Jaguars, at 7 o'clock. Then on Monday, there are also fixtures. You are South African under-21, as I spoke, up against the Baobabs, 7 o'clock in the morning for Division 1. And then the Lilies will host the Comets there at 9 o'clock. And then the Tornadoes up against the Kingdom Stars at 11 o'clock. The Fireballs up against the Jaguars at 1 o'clock. Chukuru will host the Sunbaits at 3 o'clock. And then the South African under-21, I think they'll definitely play 2 matches on the same day. So this time they'll host later on at 5 o'clock against the Stings. And then lastly, the Crinams up against the Flames. So those are the fixtures for the weekend, so up until Monday. But when we come back, we'll also alert the listeners about what has transpired as far as the results and the final standings, because of, by the looks of things, Power Week 2, when we come back Saturday, would have ended. And then we'll be awaiting July for Power Week 3, the final one, as will be taking place from the 13th up until the 20th of July. So it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm looking at the 2 teams that I've mentioned, the Crinams as the defending champions, as well as the Jaguars.
Oh, yes, it is interesting indeed as far as the netball is concerned, as far as the Telkom Netball League is concerned. Will the team from the Free State, that is the Crinams, defend their title, which they won last season, defeating the serial winners in the form and shape of Jaguars? Will the Crinams emerge victorious once again, or will the Jaguars grab what they strongly believe it is theirs, or will have some dark horse that will come and win this year's Telkom Netball League, while everyone is talking Crainams or Jaguars, and then come a surprise package, just snitch it right under their noses.
I'm also looking at our Proteas coach, Jennifer Dake.
Oh, yes.
Should also be a what you call it? They call it a scout
Yes.
for players, because of they'll also be preparing for the Proteas. So I'm looking at I think one of the Jaguars, the formatis.
Yeah.
So
she's the former coach of the Jaguars. Yes.
Of the Jaguars will be looking into that with a keen interest as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. So, but let's see in preparation for some of the matches and the World Cup, how should be able to select those players for the Protea squad.
Oh yes, it's going to be interesting indeed. How does the Proteas coach in the former chair of Jennifer Van goes about her business of scouting for the national team? That is none other than the Spa Proteas for you. Will the Crainams defend their title successfully? Will the Jaguars grab what they strongly believe is theirs? Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, we'll dive straight to football, which is our last segment. Jomanda, take us away. We've got love for you. Here's Jomanda for you.
That's why I'm so glad I found you. Gonna be my whole world around you. Oh yeah, gonna be true, gonna be true. Cause you're special. Listen to me, girl. Can you feel it? I'm gonna be I remember the game that we used to play, and all the hearts we used to break. No one makes me feel the way you do. That's why, baby, I'm gonna be true.
Jomanda giving us a song titled "Got Love for You." Talking about this song, you remember that Brenda Fassie did the cover version of this song, but she changed it all around. It was no more I've got love for you. I believe it went as Angyaksaba, my friend, you dangerous. Angyaksaba. Oh yes, Brenda Fassie did the cover version of this song. She gave it some South African spice, some South African version that was Jomanda. She originally did this song, "Got Love for You," but Brenda Fassie gave us the cover version of this song. Our time is definitely not on our side. Without any further ado, let's dive straight to our last segment. That is none other than football. Oh yes, most people believe that it is the off season. We might run out of football news. Oh boy, you've got it all wrong. Here on Nirvana World FM Sports Geek with Spanel Ngobo, we always have football news. Transfer news. It is the mad season. It is the crazy season. Oh, you sleep, you snooze, you lose, because it is mad season. Transfer season is my favorite season because it's stories all around. It is the rumors all around. It is fake news all around.
Rumors
all around. Hence, I call it the mad season. That is the transfer season for you. What's happening as far as transfer news are concerned, Modiba?
You took me back to the days when we used to do telephonic call. You'd be saying, who's firing who's who's get to bite the dust.
Exactly.
We bring back those memories. So I'll start with Chippa United.
Oh,
so,
yes.
They've parted with remember, with Tower September?
Yes.
And then they brought in September Patela. September Patela, who hails from Staksprate. So, this is the same coach who worked with Rulano Mokoena. While Rulano Mokoena, former Mamelodi Sundowns head coach, and Orlando Pirates, was busy there at Casablanca. So, then they did not agree on terms because I was busy listening to some of his interviews during the week stating that at some point the team did not pay him his salary. So
who's that? Roland Mokoena, Morocco. In Morocco. That's way at Casablanca.
Exactly. So at some point he had to cough out his money from his own pocket to pay some of the players. So which it did not sit well with him. And then rumors currently are speculating, stating that he might be Orlando Pirates head coach. But I think we'll watch out the scoop. If we get anything, we'll alert the listeners. And also Sinesi Pomali.
Sorry, just to interject on that Roland Mokoena matter. I heard you saying that he is rumored to be the next Orlando Pirates head coach. But there's also another rumor linking Roland Mokoena with a job in Egypt. We heard that this week Egyptian Giants, the CAF Champions League champions in the form and shape of Pyramids Management, they flew into South Africa to have a discussion with him. They want him to take over the reins from their current Croatian coach and coach Pyramids FC all the way from Egypt.
So definitely both parties are interested in his services. So Orlando Pirates as well as the Pyramids. So with Orlando Pirates, they tried to use Mandla Ncikazi as the interim coach, but it looks like they were not pleased with those draws, too many draws, only one win there. So by then I'm looking at Chippa United, I'm not impressed. Too many coaches. You fire, you hire at the same time. Close to 30 coaches now. So, and Mabuti Kanyeza as well announced his departure as well. So I don't know where we will be heading after he parted ways with the very same Chippa United, owned by Sivio Chipampenyesi. So I don't know, because of Sinesipo Mali there, he will be the director of the club. What's going on with the future of Morgan Mamilia, the one we used to call him
TDJX,
going
yes.
forward. So those are some of the things which I feel that the management are really letting the team down, because of, I think they were unhappy of the fact that, remember, September with the last games of the season that were left, Chippa United were inside top 8.
Yes.
Then as soon as because of they finished earlier before the other teams were in conclusion of their fixtures,
yes.
Then they had to play, and then they kicked them outside the top 8. So maybe he might have been unhappy of the fact that they were looking for a top 8 finish. It wasn't to be. So you look at also on the other side. So that's how I'm worried, because of this is the same coach who was in charge with Kwanelo Kopo. The team did not fight for relegation last season, by the way. Kwanelo Kopo left in the middle of the season, and now he's just departed the club. So one may say good luck to Sinothemba Badela. Hopefully he won't be fired going forward, because Chippa United is known of chasing away coaches. So also we also heard that Kaizer Chiefs have announced the signing of Baseka Mako
Yes.
and Tabiso Monyane, the two of Orlando Pirates left back as well as right back respectively. So those two will be in Nasruddin Nabi's plans there. So also again with Kaizer Chiefs, they will be heading into Netherlands to prepare their pre-seasons from the 3rd of July until the 19th. So let's see, because of they've been struggling at the back, so that they managed to bolster. And they also announced that Ranga Chivaviro and Josh Matlou will be leaving the club come the 30th of June, as their contract will be coming to an end with Kaizer Chiefs. So I'm going to Marumo Callens. Marumo Callens, remember they were coached by Abdeslam Ouadou. So Abdeslam Ouadou unfortunately resigned, and the rumors speculating that he might go to Orlando Pirates, he might go to SuperSport. We'll watch out there. But then the management were not happy of Marumo Callens, stating that they are going to take him for legal action, because of he came out in the media stating that the team did not pay him salaries. There are some outstanding amounts which the team should have paid them, but they didn't do that. So very, very surprising. And also, let me go to our new promoters. You are Durban City. Remember, there were some of the
legal challenges
regarding Keswick Stars and Cape Town City, where they complained about them. One of the players there, if I remember very well, Sasisa Makawana was not registered, but then they managed to win the case, and during the week they were brought into SuperSport Studio 6 to come and be honored as champions, and they were inaugurated with medals as well as the trophy. So it's well done to Coach Simo Tlatla there with Pitso Tlatla, his assistant there, the two Tlatla, so Mom Kabadeli, doing well for the club there, alongside their owner there of the club, Farouk Kadudia. Very interesting on that one. So in fact, it's JDR Stars, not Castle Stars, who lodged the complaint, but unfortunately they did not win. Cape Town Spurs, I'm surprised because of they did not do well. Ernst Middendorp, he took the team to relegation in the Betway Premiership. Now it's just relegated Cape Town Spurs again in the Motsepe Foundation. So some of the players are free agents. So you look at some of the players whom were interested by Kaizer Chiefs. Asanale Velebai, one of the players comes to mind as well. So I think, maybe they'll try to hard to get those players. So Skukuni United, they've also announced that they've parted ways with goalkeeper Ali Badre Sangare. Remember, he was the first choice before they brought in Ronaldo Lina when Eric Tintler took over in the club. So by this time around, they've parted ways with the club. They've just announced the signing of Bradley Grobler, as well as the former SuperSport United striker.
Okay, who has signed Bradley Grobler?
Skukuni United.
Wow. I
And
didn't
then
see
they've
that
also
coming.
announced Miguel Team from Orlando Pirates
Oh,
as
yes.
their player. So,
Yeah.
so those are some
So
of the
Skukuni United, they always come with great signings, I must say.
very quality for me. So that's why they also always want the coach to deliver. And I would have loved them to play in the Confederations Cup, but it wasn't to be because of the last game 3-2 against Golden Arrows, of which two of their players, when I remember very well, they were red carded. Sean Mokhaila as well as Elias Ramala. So, but then, I think so far Tintler has done well since he took over, and at some point he was the coach of the month. And speaking of the coach of the month, the Mamelodi Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso, he was the coach of the month. Lucas Ribeiro Costa got the goal of the month as well as the player of the month. Those are the accolades that they've won for May. Before we are still waiting for the hours giving because of there were so many disruptions that disrupted that particular occasion. So, but as time goes, we'll definitely know when will the PSL, should I say, Betway Premiership, host the award-giving ceremony. Let's go to Amapagani, Orlando Pirates. So they've just extended the contract of their defender or midfielder, left winger Dion Horto on 2 years contract. They've also announced so many signings there. I see Gabelo Khositsile from Baroka, Tsepo Mashilwane from Baroka, Masindi Nemtangela from Marumo Gallants. He's a good player. I even saw him during the Kosafa Cup. Then they've also announced Siklen Duli from the former TS Galaxy from Stellenbosch there. So he'll be joining the Amapagani. It's not Olo Kwaiba. We saw him doing well in the Bafana Bafana, scoring midweek there when they won 2-0 against Mozambique. So also they've announced the signing of Nkos Conan Daba from Richards Bay. And yesterday, as I was busy preparing for the show, they've just announced that they've signed Tsepang Moremi from Usut. He'll be playing for Orlando Pirates come next season. Then with Amazulu, they've just announced goalkeeper Darren Johnson as the new goalkeeper following the departure of Veli Mota. Veli Mota has parted ways with the club, and rumors speculating is that he might go and join his previous club, Chippa United, because Darren Johnson comes from Chippa United. Also, Keegan Allen from Richards Bay, the young defender there, will be joining Amazulu. And they've parted ways with the likes of Veli Mota, as I've said, Kalimpilon Gema. Remember the saga of him coming to club in the presence of alcohol. So it didn't sit well with him. Rowan Human, who's rumored to join Kaizer Chiefs, Wade Euster, Abubakar Mobara, I was surprised to see this one, and also Boniface Harbour, as well as a striker, Etiosa Ikodaro, whom as well has returned to Mamelodi Sundowns, and rumors also linking him with Kaizer Chiefs. Those are some of the PSL movements that are taking place currently with the Betway Premiership.
Oh yes, talking of knowing your worth, they always say you must know your worth. That takes me straight to the news that I've just heard you mentioning that Orlando Pirates, they've announced the extension of a DN Horto's contract by 2 years. Why do I say that? Reminds me of they are saying that you must know your worth. Orlando Pirates, they were offering DN Horto 1 year contract, and then DN Horto said, hell no, I'm not for 1 year contract. I'm not going to sign a 1 year contract. If you want me to sign anything, consider your contract, make it at least 2 years. And then Orlando Pirates, they didn't have a choice. They had to give Udion Horto exactly what he wanted. Hence, I say you must always know your worth. Now, moving away from a transfer news straight to FIFA Club World Cup that will be taking place out in US of A, of which South Africa, they do have the representative in the form and shape of Mamelodi Sundowns. Motiba, talk to us what's happening in as far as FIFA Club World Cup is concerned.
Definitely, it's a one-lifetime opportunity. Remember when they won the CAF Champions League as Sundowns in 2016?
Yes.
They also featured in the very same FIFA Club World Cup, but then they didn't do well for me. So this is another opportunity as well, following that I am doing well in the AFL. Remember that AFL they've won last season. So, but this time around, unfortunately, they lost in the final of the CAF Champions League, as you just mentioned, Pyramids as well. 3-2 on aggregate, following that 1-0 draw and 2-1 loss there for Mamelodi Sundowns. So, it's an opportunity where they'll kickstart the particular first match on the 18th of this particular June.
That is Wednesday.
That is Wednesday in the morning, in the early morning, 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
They'll play against the Fluminense there. So hopefully they will do well. So because of they've always prepared so well, they travel so well, and already currently they've played some of their
friendly matches,
which I saw one of the scoreline having won 6-0, so which shows that they are in a good direction of doing well. So, but then football in that side, it's gonna be a quick one. So I'm looking at the likes of Ulsan FC, but the second match will definitely be against Borussia Dortmund, of which
it's gonna be a crack of a game.
A crack of a game, not to be missed, on the 25th. 6 o'clock kickoff, and then the last game against Ulsan at 8 o'clock on the 28th. So those are the matches for Abafana Bastyle. Hopefully they will redeem themselves afterward. The failure to do well, of which I stated on social media that you can't struggle to win domestical trophies at home and want to conquer Africa, of which some of the fans were against me. And then also they tried to bring in Pyramids into the picture. Then I said, Pyramids, you're only 7 years born. Mamelodi Sundowns have been forever, have played CAF Champions
More than 50 years old. That's
you see,
Mamelodi
more than
Sundowns.
the age of Pyramids, and
Yes.
Lapito Musimane as well. But ever since he left Mamelodi Sundowns, they can't win domestic trophies, of which it poses so many question marks, because for you to conquer Africa, you need to start at home. So those were the predictions I've made, and then I realized that they won't win the CAF Champions League. So people were saying, no, maybe you hate Sundowns. Also, no, I was just thinking in terms of statistical point of view as an analyst. But then they started shaking my hand, say, hey, you were just spot on. I'm like, no, I didn't say they want me based on hatred, but just based on what I've been watching with Mamelodi Sundowns. And Miguel Cardoso, for me, if he doesn't do well in this Club World Cup, he might be under pressure as well, because of we all know what Flemingbeck wants as far as Mamelodi Sundowns is concerned. But then with that, good luck to them. Hopefully, if they can just get 5 out of a possible 9 points, a win and 2 draws, then they'll definitely qualify for the knockout stages, which is the last 16. But there are so many quality sides there. Your name, your Chelsea, although
Man City.
Man City, the likes of Al Ali, the Wydad Casablanca will be part of this particular Club World Cup, where we will see Butambinko Siloj and everyone there. So Kesha Smailu, just to name few there. So yeah, it's gonna be a lovely one.
It's going to be a lovely one indeed. Let's wish Mamelodi Sundowns all the best in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup that is taking the center stage out in United States of America. Let's hope Mamelodi Sundowns will definitely fly South African flag with pride. Yes, in South Africa, domestic football might be on the recess, but the promotional playoffs to the elite league, they are taking the center stage. What's happening in as far as Betway Premiership promotional playoffs are concerned?
Definitely, we saw midweek the Orbit College hosted the Casric Stars there midweek there at Olympia Park in Rustenburg, and the two sides played to a goalless draw, of which I anticipated Casric Stars to win, because of in the last 4 meetings they've never lost against Orbit College. So I liked some of the comments from coaches Bogiso Magoya of Orbit College, as well as Joseph Mtombeni speaking in Isindebele, saying defense must come in numbers that side of Mpumalanga. So it's going to be a lovely one, because this wonderful afternoon they will be traveling to what you call Cape Town Stadium, Orbit College, to visit Cape Town City. Hopefully they will do well. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see if Casric Stars, in fact Casric Stars are the ones traveling to Cape Town DHL Stadium. The new coach at the helm. So I don't know if Diogo Paran and Roger Sa will proceed with the team, or if the new coach who's been brought in, I'll try and go for the same name there. He will be in charge of the club, so they need to do well and survive relegation, judging from the quality players that the owner, the joint committees, has acquired.
Putting you on a spot, whom do you expect to win this promotional playoffs? Do you expect Cape Town City to come back to survive the relegation, or Casric Stars or whoever to eventually gain a promotion to the elite league?
We just need new blood. For me, I'll pick up Orbit College. They're playing one of the most exciting football. Although Casric Stars are stubborn, but Orbit College, we just need new blood, because of I saw John committees complaining a lot. Your team failed to do well, especially second coaches like Eric Tintla, who were not getting results. Mushine Tugura not getting results. Diogo Parani struggled, but he came late for me. So I think for me, Orbit College for me. But then people will be saying Cape Town City will come back, of which they will be surprises by the looks of things.
Opit College, where are they from? Which province are they from?
Rustenburg, Northwest.
Oh yes, that would be interesting indeed to have a club in the elite league from that part of the world, that is a Northwest, because by the look of things at the moment we do not have a professional club from Northwest. So let's hope Opit College might just throw spanner in the works and we get to have a club in the elite league, Betway Premiership to be exact, from that part of the world that is in Northwest. Now moving away from promotional playoffs, and as we look at the last segment, that is international football, where South Africa is represented, COSAFA Cup.
Definitely, and they started on a bad note. Remember losing their first match there against Mozambique, but then they bounced back so well last weekend when they won 2-0 against Zimbabwe. But then the coach was not happy. Vela Khumalo stating that some of the players, they are just not clinical in front of goals. So, and they also played after that. I think the utterances came after the goalless draw against Mauritius, of which they had an advantage of 4 points with the level with the very same Mozambique, but then goal difference favored South Africa. That's how South Africa managed to progress to the semi-finals. And speaking of the semi-finals, they were in action last night against Comoros,
Yes.
as they thrashed Comoros 3-1. Kamokholo Sebelebele.
Oh yes,
from
what a
Chiefs Galaxy.
performance.
What a performance, what a well-taken goal. Scoring a brace with the current Orlando Pirates striker Butumelo Radiopane. So what a finish there for me from a wonderful counter break. And this is how they managed to go all the way to the final. They will be facing the defending champions, Angola, I should say.
Yes.
Speaking of Angola, they managed to win 4-1 against Madagascar. So those are the defending champions. So it makes it very, very exciting at the Free State Stadium. That's where things will be happening there. Go Bloemfontein. So that is the final that will be taking place tomorrow. And let's see Vela Khumalo, who is in charge.
Yes.
Maybe he might go in the footsteps of Morena Ramurebu.
Yeah.
Remember how in 2020 he led the very same Bafana Bafana to win COSAFA Cup against Botswana on penalties. And this time around, as you know, there's been some criticism from some of the Kaizer Chiefs fans stating that Hugo Broos doesn't like Kaizer Chiefs players. Hugo Broos 1, 2, 3. And this time around, the coach who just won the DDC with Kaizer Chiefs in the form of shape of Vela Khumalo, he grabs the DDC. Now he's taking the team to the final of the COSAFA. Question is, can he be crowned champions and lead them to the promised land? I think we'll get the answer tomorrow. And it's so interesting because of the very same Kaizer Chiefs fans stated that now our team won the Nedbank Cup, and Hugo Bros stated that Kaizer Chiefs must win something for them, for him to call them. But then still they won the Nedbank Cup, and he said they are outside the top 8, which are some of the excuses that has been dished out by Hugo Bros, of which is very, very surprising because of, you look at Super Sport United for a typical example, the likes of Ricardo Kos, Nkombobi, they've been called by the very same Hugo Bros, but the team has been not doing well, and almost were in the playoffs until they got that elusive draw in the last game of the season against Golden Arrows, which made them to survive. That's why you look at Stanley Matthews, the owner of the club. He was so pinkish and very emotional, and very also crediting Andre Arendse for helping the team to survive for relegation. So those are some of the utterances. But then let's wait and see. And good luck to Bafana, because I've seen the likes of your Takazani Mbanjwa, Mduduzi Shabalala, in the nick of things, Aiden McCarthy doing well for the country. Hopefully they will change his perspective. The players will change Hugo Bros' perspective of saying Kaizer Chiefs players this and that. So because Kaizer Chiefs fans are not happy with Hugo Bros.
Yes, still with the COSAFA Cup final that will take its center stage come tomorrow. The defending champions Angola, they will take on the home side. The host, there is none other than South Africa, Bafana down in Bloemfontein, Ko Mangaung. Looking at how well and clinical Angola, who are the defending champions, have been playing in this final, and Bafana, they do have the home ground advantage. Going to tomorrow's game, which is the final, whom do you tip to walk away victorious? Like I said, don't forget how well and clinical the defending champions Angola have been playing in this tournament.
And I've seen them thrashing Lesotho 3-0 as well.
They've been thrashing everyone. Kaboma 3-0, Kaboma 4-1. They are a free scoring team.
And South Africa, Vela Khumalo is saying the players are not clinical. So of which, on paper, Angola stand a chance. But for South African side, home soil, I'll go with Bafana Bafana. I think maybe they'll win this one on penalties.
The bias, Modiba Peter, is calling it a for Bafana Bafana, saying that Bafana, he tips Bafana Bafana to walk away victorious come tomorrow in that COSAFA Cup final against the defending champions in the form and shape of Angola. That is taking the center stage down in Bloemfontein. Mangaung, let's hope the Bloemfontein fans, they will definitely come out in numbers and root for the home side. There is Bafana, led by their coach, that is Vela Kumalo. And let's hope that Bafana this time around they will go all the way and get over the line and be crowned COSAFA Cup champions 2025. That's how we come to an end of our today's show. Oh yes, we'd like to apologize for overlapping us so much because we were supposed to have wrapped the show a long time ago, but we got carried away. It all thanks to our cricket analyst in the form and shape of Alvin Bengu, who gave us that insight and detailed information as far as cricket is concerned. Talking of cricket, oh boy, things are happening out in England right now, and they seem to be favoring South Africa. Listen to this. If you are a South African cricket fan, if your blood is green and gold, listen to this. The scoreboard reads: South Africa need just mere 7 runs to be crowned 2025 World Test Championship, dislodging the defending champions, none other than Australia. The stubborn and aggressive Australia. Oh boy, what a best way to be crowned champions, beating Australia in the final. We are just 7 runs away from being crowned the World Test Champions 2025. Guess what? Aiden Makram is still in the crease. He has faced, listen to this guy is so stubborn. He has faced 206 balls. He has gone on and scored 136 runs. Not out, not still counting. There is Aiden Makram for you. He is supporting, Tristan Stubbs is out. David Bellingham is supporting Aiden Makram. David Bellingham has faced 46 balls and he has scored 19 runs. Patient. Play the ball, play the moment. That's the name of the game. That's what South Africa will be doing in this game. We'll just now it's 7 runs left for the South Africa to get over the line and be crowned World Test champions. They need 6 runs with 6 wickets. What a best position to be at if you are a South African cricket fan.
Go to OR Tambo and feel it. Welcome the players.
Oh yes.
So, but then I was just against Alvin Bengu when he said, I can't. When we asked him for prediction, he said, I can't put my head off the block bag. No, myself, I'm putting the head of the block bag. So, but then, but I think we deserve this title because we won against the likes of India, Pakistan, those test matches, all of them. And Temba Bavuma was doing ever so well, winning those runs for us. So we deserve this title. It's well done to our very own South Africa.
Just for the record, Temba Bavuma had never lost a test match, and he was not gonna lose it now. So bring it home, boys. It is still 6 runs to win from how many? Still have 6 wickets in hand. So it's all South Africa. Everything is favoring.
No choking this time around.
No, hell no. What's that? The C word. To hell with that. Unfortunately, that's how we have to come to. We have to sign off.
Indeed, it's been a lovely day, and hopefully next week when you come in, we'll come up with excitement and looking forward to some of the sporting codes that will be in action this wonderful weekend going to midweek. And just to remind the listeners that those who will be watching Motsepe Foundation, the game will kickstart at 3 o'clock between Orbit College, should I say Castric Stars, away to Cape Town City. In some of the midweek matches as well, it will be 3 o'clock. So with that, it's a very good afternoon, and the name still remains Mutiba Peta. Let's meet again next weekend.
Oh yes, it is a great afternoon indeed. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for allowing us in your space, and more importantly, tolerating us. That's how we come to an end on our today's show. That is a sports gig with Sponor Ngobo here on Nirvana World FM. Your pay your music, and we come to you live from our Lenesia studios. That is Joburg South, if you will. Let's do this once again. Come next weekend here on Nirvana World FM. Same time, same place. That is between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Till then, I am Sponor Ngobo, and it is
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.